Okay, welcome, Lorraine. Good to see you again. One of the competitors in the 2019. It's good to have you back again.
Good to be back.
This one will be a little bit different than the last time, but so anyway, we thought it was good to just interview the artist, just to let the community know and learn a little bit more about you. And so, like I said, this is not your first time. You were in 2019. Can you remember that?
Very well. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great time.
Yes, a lot has happened since then. So you are currently based where?
I'm currently based in Lower Hutt. That's my place where I live, and I work in Wellington itself. Yeah.
So how long have you been in that region?
I moved to Lower Hutt for art school in 2009, and I spent a little time out in the Wairarapa, pretty close by anyway, and yeah, returned to Lower Hutt, been there ever since.
Oh, very good. So do you have your own studio, or are you based at home, or are you painting from home, or?
So I'm lucky enough that I have access to a garage that we don't keep the car in. And I call it the cockroach cave, because it's I've literally had cockroaches fall from the rafters onto my work table, but it comes with the territory, and it's a mostly enclosed space that I use very gratefully. Yeah.
We're always grateful for a good space. Hey, now, what do you classify yourself as? A full-time artist, a part-time artist?
I'd say a part-time artist. I work part-time and study part-time as well.
So what do you do part-time?
Okay, so I study environmental science at the moment. Yeah, wanted to go back to school, expand the possibilities of what I could get up to in the future. And I work at a place called Good Housekeeping right at the top of Cuba Street, which is a great place to work. I'm actually here now since I was out and about at the time that you wanted this interview to happen. I just arrived this afternoon and said to my boss, can I use the Wi-Fi, please? And I'm actually in the shop's bathroom at the moment. Oh. At least it gives a good, like, clear white background.
Yeah, no, very good. How long have you been painting for?
Oh, so I got started dabbling with painting as a teenager. Would have done my first paintings probably about 13 years old, but I really got the joy of oil painting about 19 years old. Started with portraiture, and that's what drove me to try out art school, see what I could do, and have dabbled with lots of other forms of art since then. But painting is one of my main loves.
Can you remember the moment that you really thought that art was something that you really wanted to pursue?
Yes, I definitely remember the moment. So I was living in Michigan at the time and feeling quite disconnected from the place. Still felt like a Kiwi, and I would watch rugby as my connection back to New Zealand, and I got involved with sending lots of commentary to this alternative rugby podcast thing, and became friends with those guys. They saw my first oil painting actually was of a rugby player. I sent the photo to them and they printed out big posters and got the guy to sign it. And as a surprise, sent me one in Michigan. And I remember on that cold, clear night, arriving home from my crappy job at a petrol station to an empty house, and finding this this painting in the mail, this poster in the mail, should I say, opening it up and seeing the signature in silver ink in the corner. And oh man, that made me think, well, perhaps it's something worth paying more attention to. It felt really special.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So like you've mentioned oil. Is oil the medium that you love the most, or is there are other things that you like experimenting with? Oil paint's finicky. I originally went with oil paint, but I've gotten more into kind of a drawing sort of style. I like media that aren't quite as squishy in recent years. I have messed around with working with watercolor on undried gesso on canvas. That was an interesting phase to try and mimic some highlighter drawings that I'd done. Yep. Yeah, still trying to get like the specific paint medium that I really love. I do quite enjoy working with the house paints though, as experience with mural painting. So you've mentioned one thing that was a bit of a highlight for you. Is there anything else? Is there another work of art or a project that you've worked on that really gives you a really great vibe and you feel very proud of?
So recently, actually, my mum shared a memory on social media. It was of a huge canvas that I did back at art school, still the biggest painting on canvas that I've done. I would say wider than my arm span, that big. And it was of John and Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I did a whole series on John from the Chili Peppers. I just painted what I loved, you know. And I had that up in a cafe in town in Wellington, and someone bought it and took it to the South Island with them. Still the biggest painting that I've sold. And just the way that I threw the colors together without thinking about it too much, but it still worked. It reminds me not to get too bogged down in being analytical, which is very tempting.
So do you produce a lot of work now, or just as a commission, or when you feel the artistic mood, or?
I would say it goes through phases. I try to keep up a consistent practice. I feel the need for it anyway. I've been dabbling with music recently, actually, and that's been a big outlet. But even along with that, the artistic side, the visual art side is needed. Recently, I did a fringe festival show, and I needed to make costumes and masks and posters for that. So that spliced together those kind of themes quite nicely.
So do you do, have you had many exhibitions?
I've had a few over the years, not recently. I'd say I'm probably a little scared of exhibitions, actually. Got the typical thing of not wanting to put so much time into marketing and trying to get people there, and exhibition openings, I guess, I don't like them that much. I don't go to them that much. So the idea of trying to run one just sounds frustrating. but I do need to get back to it. Give myself a goal.
Yeah. What's the thing you enjoy most about art?
Oh, just the self-expression. It's just a channel for whatever's going on. Got lots of thoughts and feelings, you know, and they've got to be channeled somewhere. Keeps me sane, I'd say.
So what's a memory of the 2019 festival that you still can remember clearly?
Well, probably my favorite memories were hanging out with the other artists, actually.
Yeah.
I remember having
it's going to be something that's going to be missed this time. So,
yes, definitely. I was really looking forward to that. I remember having drinks and a meal with the other artists at the end of the competition, and it was a great bonding activity. Got to know each other a bit. I'm still in touch with one of them who lives quite locally on the Kapiti coast.
That's one of the things that I'm going to miss the most too, you know, is that connection. Working with you guys, it's most enjoyable. If money was not an option and the COVID wasn't around, do you have any things that would be on a bucket list or a goal that you just love to do?
What would be something that I would love to do? I'd really love to go to Japan. Yeah, I love the aesthetic over in Japan. That would be up there for me. Yeah, the moss gardens, stuff like that.
So what other interests do you have outside of art? Are you involved in anything else?
So I mentioned music. So up until now, it's been mostly singing other people's work, maybe dabbling around with offering lyrics, but I'm learning to actually play music now, which is really exciting. And I do volunteer work. Working out in a garage in the hut can be a bit isolating, I've found. And so I made a conscious effort to reach out and find community that works really well as a regular part of my life. Being
in Cuba Street would probably help, wouldn't it?
Oh, it's only one day a week though.
Okay.
It's very part-time.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for giving of your time. And it's nice to see you back again. And you're painting Brendan, is it? Is it Brendan?
I think so. I can't remember his name.
Gibbs. The vicar. Yep, you're painting Brendan. So we're going to really look forward to seeing what your interpretation of Brendan is. So we wish you all the very best for next week. And
thank you very much.
To seeing what you come up with. So thank you very much.
I'm very excited.
Yep.
Yeah, really good to talk to you. Okay, it's 1:30, so we'll make a start because I know some of you are keen to paint all night. Yeah. So, we've actually all come online now. Wolf's just come on. Okay, we'll start with Andrea.
Good afternoon. So I've been quite busy today getting the passion flower vines in. If you can see right across there. Yeah, so she's got 6 passion flowers in there, and they're to represent, well, the passion flower is the flower of Christ, so it's Christian symbol. And the food bank is run by the Reach Out Trust, which is the Katikati combined churches, and there's 6 of them. So that's really to represent each of the 6 churches that are behind the food bank. Yeah, and I thought that was important to reference because Sue's just really well, like all these guys, you know, they're all kind of self-depreciating, and they don't take too much on themselves of importance. So it's really about the people that they volunteer alongside and that kind of thing. So I know that would be important to Sue. So I just really wanted to reference the churches behind the food bank as well in there with Sue. Yeah. So hopefully I'll get those finished tonight. And then tomorrow it's just going to be all about the portrait. Yeah.
So how late do you think you'll go till tonight?
We'll see. Oh, my dog is a soldier. He's my studio dog.
Oh.
He lives in the studio with me.
Yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Soldier.
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 Yeah.
Hello, Soldier.
Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
No, you're shy. Good boy.
Thanks, Andrea.
All right.
Dan.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep.
Is my portrait always in gloom, or what is it like?
It's got a nice bright halo over it.
Right. What about the face?
Can't make it up.
It's a little bit hard to see the face.
Let's see what I can do.
The jacket looks great though.
Yeah, you can see the jacket now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
It's better.
Wow.
All week I've had that light on and didn't tell me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, this morning I mentioned like a checklist to go through, and I'm still going through it because, as you know, you do one little bit, that changes something else.
Yeah.
And I go through my palette, all the little pots there, thinking a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It seems silly now that all you need is just a tip of paint on the end of a brush. You put the lid back on again. But I don't know. We'll see where we go. There's got to be a point where you say, that is enough.
That'll be at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So you're old and wise, aren't you, Dan? So you won't be pulling an all-nighter.
Old. Yeah, not wise.
You look wise.
Oh, yeah. It goes with the beard. Yeah.
So very good. Yep. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Zeke.
Yeah, so I've got the bottom left painted, at least just like the first layer, but I think it looks all right so far. Still couldn't get the teeth right, so that's annoying. But
He's looking good.
yeah, it's looking all right. Lots of little things to work on. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
So you mentioned before that you're going to pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, so I'll like take a photo of it and then mark all of the bits that I think need working on, and then do what was it Kerry or Dan? I think it was Dan that said just do like a checklist and get that done.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're learning. You're doing well. Well done, Zeke. Okay. Shane.
Yeah, today I've been working did a bit more on her dress, sort of put some more highlights and things on there, as you can see. And then been doing like a bit of texture and sort of abstracty stuff, sort of forming into these butterflies here. God, I can't see this camera. Somewhere down there. And then sort of going over some skin tones and stuff. Trying to get all that right. It's got quite like an evening glow sort of on the image I'm working from. It's quite tricky to get all those tones right, but just kind of got the hands and things to do. So I'll be doing an all-nighter too, I'd imagine.
I bet you
I
don't.
want to add a bit more stuff in as well. So yeah, hopefully I can get most of the skin done tonight. See how we go.
Very good. Thanks, Shane. Who's next along there? Michelle.
Oh, I'll change the view so I can see you. Hi. Yeah, so I haven't done a whole lot of painting today. I actually done more planning than painting, but I have finished off this and I started to lay down the script here, and that actually took a lot of time because everything's angled, so all the lettering has to be angled. I have to do it by hand, really. So it's this paragraph that's going to be the hardest. But yeah, so I'm going to be pretty much up all night, I think.
Well, you've got a challenge. Not only is it on an angle, you've also got the
fold of the paper.
The folds of the paper.
Yeah, very tricky.
So very good.
Brushes, some little brushes going there.
It's a zero brush that I'm using, I think.
Damn.
On the 1 by 1 meter, that seems a bit silly.
Very good. Okay. Wolf.
Kia ora. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with what I did today. I done the jumper and getting into details for the chicken. Still need to do the head, but yeah, pretty happy with what I did this afternoon.
Very good. Yeah. Starting all to come together.
Yeah.
So are you going to do an all-nighter, or are you going to?
I mean, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, but we'll see. If it's a necessity, then yeah. Because I also have an interview, I think, with you tomorrow morning. Hey, so.
Yeah, your interview's tomorrow morning. So
after that,
no, it's already done.
Oh.
Yep. We recorded it earlier.
Sorry?
We recorded it earlier.
Oh, instead of tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought there was another interview or something.
No.
Oh, sweet.
That's why I tried to get them all done before, so you wouldn't have to remember about it.
Ah, brilliant.
I've just given you a whole lot more time.
Woo!
Okay, Lorraine.
Hello. So today I have been working on the lines in here more and more, trying to get that tidy, getting down to some pretty little details there, putting the shadows on him a bit better, trying to cover him up with some skin tone, don't leave the underpainting showing through quite as much, shape the ear.
You have had a busy day.
Yeah. Yes,
So,
very close to the canvas today.
So how are you going? Are you going to need a little bit of time tonight?
I reckon it's hard to tell, but I think I will do it anyway because it probably would be needed.
Because you can't get it back again if you don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. So, Kerry.
Hello.
Oh, you have been busy. You can see Luca now.
Oh yeah. Oh, not just a fair way to go yet on him. Yep.
Yeah, no.
I've been just doing that today, and I went to get some printouts done up at Office Works because my printer, I've got a $30,000 printer sitting there and it's broken. So I went up to get stuff done at Office Works, and their printer is broken. So I had 9 prints to do, and I got one that was good and 2 others that were semi-good. So so not a lot of fun. I hate wasting time like that.
Very good. So how are you going for time?
I work. We're supposed to finish 3 o'clock tomorrow. Is that right? Or?
Yeah. 3 o'clock your time, which will be 5 o'clock our time. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I'll be doing more work tonight and tomorrow, and yeah. But I haven't got a problem. I'll get it done. So
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, well done, everybody. You've had a busy day. Right, we'll move on to our little show and tell session. So who would like to start off showing some of the stuff that they've got?
Well, I can start because
Yep.
I've only got one print that came out, so that'll be quick. Shane mentioned this guy the other day, and he's one of my favourite artists, Andrew Tischler. I don't know whether we can see that or not. Hold it up.
Now a bit higher.
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Andrew Tischler is like one of the best artists. I think he's actually for landscapes, for me, him and Renato Musiello are probably the best landscape artists that I've seen. I think he lives in New Zealand, but I think he's from America. He was living in Western Australia for a while, and he did a painting of Milford Sound that's like the best paint, one of the best paintings that I've ever seen. It was just absolutely beautiful. And he does lessons as well, and online lessons, and he's really worth watching. You know, a lot of good information. And he does a lot of portraiture, and he does a lot of still life as well. So he's very versatile, really top artist. As far as other type of artists that I like, this print didn't come out very well. But the artist, his name is Sandorfi. Istvan Sandorfi is a Hungarian. And this is another one of his. Again, the print didn't work out that well. And he does a type of, he's passed away now, and he does a type of artwork that's really high class, where it sort of comes in and out of reality. There's parts that are there and parts that aren't there, and then he does some really strange things in his painting, but it's a really, really top artist. And the only other one that I want to talk about would be Greg Simpkins. He was a street artist, and he does like fantasy stuff. A lot of the stuff that he does is Alice in Wonderland type of paintings, and he's got a brilliant mind. I wish I could think the way he can. He just makes up things, fantasy characters, and he's just exceptionally good. But I haven't got a printout to show you, but you'll have to look him up. He's a beautiful artist.
Rayola, is that
it? Yeah. So anyway, that's me.
Thank you, Kerry.
No problem.
Okay. Michelle.
Oh, I took the brief quite differently. So I didn't refer to any other artists.
No. You sent me some, and they obviously mean something special to you.
Okay, so okay, so firstly, I wanted to show you the favourite painting that I've done. But you mentioned people that inspire me, and the reason I like this painting so much is because it's of my dad, but I don't have the painting here. So that's an image of it.
Awesome. Very nice.
And it was an entry into the Kingi Tuheitia Portraiture Award. And it was lucky enough to be one of the finalists. But when I did that one, I also did my dad's mother. So that's what I've got here, because I've had it on the wall. So this is beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful painting.
It was only my dad's portrait was my first completed oil portrait. And I really enjoyed that. And I did this in quick succession after that. So this is his mother. Her name's Elizabeth Waru. And she was known as Lizzie. And my dad's one of 12 children they had. And they worked a farm, and she made all the clothes that all the kids wore. And she's she passed away, unfortunately, when my dad was a teenager, so I've never met her, but I've heard all about her. And yeah, I guess as far as inspirational people go, I think she handed that hardworking gene to my dad, and yeah, I like to think that.
And you sent me a photo of, is it your dad with
my dad's holding this portrait, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
If everybody can
Yeah.
see that. I printed it off, and her jersey is amazing. Looks
Yeah,
like
I
real wool
had
jersey.
lots of fun with both of them, because both of them had knitted jumpers. Like my dad literally wears a woolen jersey every day of his life. So yeah.
Very good. Thank you. They're amazing.
Thank you.
Good record of your dad and his mum.
Yes. Now I need to do my mother's side to make it fair. So.
Shane.
I don't actually own much art, but one day, hopefully. This is one I've got. It's a print of oh god, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's the artist Joel Rea. He's an Australian artist. Kind of does surrealist sort of same thing, like pretty crazy sort of scenes with a lot going on in there. They kind of pretty creative, I reckon. You can kind of make up a million stories looking at that thing, which is quite cool. So probably that's one of the only pieces of art I actually own. And then I just brought one up on my tablet. There's another guy, Mark Maggiore.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying his name right, but he's like, he does a lot of Western cowboy scenes.
Yeah.
But with like real big skies, and his stuff's pretty epic too.
Yeah.
And then probably, like Kerry said, Andrew Tischler. I quite often, he's got a podcast too, which if you're keen on listening to some artist talks in the studio, he's got a good one called The Creative Endeavor. And that's, he interviews artists and they talk about techniques and how they go about the business and bits and pieces. It's pretty informative. But yeah, like those are a couple for sort of I'd probably draw inspiration from in the studio. And then there's I think I said when in that interview, like a bucket load of street artists as well. That's probably what got me into painting. It's probably seeing that and sort of the lifestyle you can live.
Yep.
That's the dream.
Good to have
heaps, yeah, so many. I don't really have like a favorite as such. There's just so many with and they're all completely different, and their subject matter is completely different. I quite same as Kerry, like that guy Crayola. Or,
yeah, Crayola.
And there's another guy. I can't remember his name, and he does like all these monsters and things as well. I kind of like ones that just sort of paint whatever they feel like and seem to be able to make a pretty good living off just being super creative and painting all sorts of things that like they're all made up and pretty crazy. I think that sort of stuff.
Very good. Thanks, Shane. Very interesting. Dan.
Yeah, well, two parts to this one. Basically, I don't have any pictures to show you, but I admire a lot of work. I look at pictures and think if I could paint like that, I'd be an extremely happy person. In fact, looking at the work today. But something I admired, I don't know if you know these people, but back in the late 19th century, a group of Russians were rejected from society because they were too radical. And they were called the itinerants, a bit like the French with their impressionists, but these were realistic painters, and they painted very sort of like social scenes, peasants, people praying. And I got a book on that, and I looked at those pictures and thought, wow, that's beautiful work. It's old-fashioned, I know, There's a painter in there who created views of woodland, and it's so immaculate in my view. He could not have stood there painting all of that. Neither could he have taken photographs of it. So he must have tremendous memory. And I've copied a few of them. I quite enjoy them. But these people have exhibitions around the world. And I saw one in London years ago, where there's an explanation, like a seminar going with it, which is a great help. One scene is like a very cold winter's night, as in Russia, with a sort of fir tree, all this sparkling ice coming off it, and the moon was absolutely brilliant. And apparently, when that was first shown at an exhibition years ago, people wanted to look around the back of it because they thought there was a lamp. It was so brilliant. That's the admiration. And the other side of it is, I don't think I can show you this properly, but can you see it? Can you not? How much do you want to see? Basically, Joan and I, when we lived in London, we used to travel quite a bit in Europe, and often to Spain. And one evening in a little village quite near the Pyrenees, we saw a shop open quite late at night, and they were selling this type of ware, which is heavy. But how do I show it to you? Which is the best way? I don't want to drop it, I'll be in trouble. The whole series, I don't know, have you ever heard of Ladro at all? No. Similar to Ladro, but this is matte finish, which we quite liked. When we went in the shop, the lady said, "Are you going to Andorra tomorrow?" I thought, yeah, we will do. Well, there's a shop there sells it cheaper than I do. Well, you can't do better than that. So we left her alone, went to Andorra, and Andorra is like one of these tax-free places. On the main street is all these duty-free shops. We found the shop selling this stuff, and this wasn't the first thing we bought, but basically something we chose had a box that went with it, a very flashy box, which had like a plastic lining just to take that shape. So the sales lady, who was all sort of made up and, you know, an important person, could not get it in that box. The supervisor came along, who was even more important. She could not get it inside that box. So we're just standing laughing our heads off. They sent for the lady in the back room, who came out in one of those pink nylon overalls with a cigarette. She went, "Wow." You know, she went dum, dum, and straight into the box. That was her job anyway. And these two important ladies just disappeared. But that's the sort of story goes with it. But we quite like this stuff.
Very nice.
You look at it so many times, if I could have made that, I'd be very happy.
Thanks, Dan. Wolf.
Yeah, I'm from Canada, so I've been living here for about 2 years, but I've kind of purposely not had a big art collection because I don't want to bring it back. But I've got just a couple things. So my mom is a ceramicist, an amazing ceramicist artist, and she occasionally paints. And she sent me a painting for my my birthday last year, and it's just this really cute little pig. And yeah, I don't know, it's just really adorable and kind of silly, and like we have a silly sense of humor that we share, of just like whatever, like don't overthink it, just it's a pig. You know. And yeah, and I like how she's done like the under painting that kind of shows a little bit on the edges. So yeah, that's one piece. This is a print of a drawing that I've done that I really like. So it's a bunch of police standing. But yeah, it was done like in pencil originally. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I guess like just in terms of artists that like inspire me, I don't know, there's so many, but one painter and street artist that I really like is Zoer, and I'll just show you on my phone, but I don't know if it's gonna do any justice, but the colors look really weird, but anyways, they do like very realist stuff, but their color palette is always really nice and really sharp. And
is that on the side of a building?
yeah, that's him down there, I think. So,
oh, okay, yeah,
it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Wolf.
No worries. Thank you.
Steve.
G'day, everyone. I've got a lot of influences, and I've got quite an art collection. I collect Japanese woodblock prints and lino block prints, and usually go to Comic-Con every year with my son, and I hang out at the art tables and buy prints. So my art room here is full of manga art prints. But my biggest influences are what they call marginalised, lowbrow, independent artists, really non-commercial artists, non-conformist artists. Anything in this book, The Outlaw Bible of America, this is their Bible. But my major influences, painting-wise, are Polish artists of all things. Now, my major influence is a woman called Tamara D. Lempicka. You probably haven't heard of her, but you'll know her work, and I'll show you a few of her. Now, this is really weird. I don't have any of her art, but I have her cushions. So I'm going to show you some cushions of her work. Okay, so you'll probably recognise it instantly and can see the influence from her to me. So there's one, there's another. There's her on my couch, so she's always with me when I'm painting. So, you know, because she's a major influence, and you can probably see the stylised. I'm not as really hard-edged as her, but she deliberately uses a really minimalist palette. She's very popular with Hollywood. She's seen in a lot of Hollywood movies and backgrounds. The original Batman movie featured her paintings. The biggest owner of her pictures today are Jack Nicholson and Madonna. A couple of her paintings recently came up at Christie's a couple of years ago, and they fetched 15 to 20 million for a painting. She only did probably 160 paintings in her lifetime. She's mainly worked around the 20s and 30s. Other artists I like, they're all Polish artists for some reason. A bloke called Bekinski, very much like H.R. Geiger, and another bloke called Stanislaw Stilowski, and another one called Paja Jajonovic. So you'll never know any of them. So there you go. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Steve.
No worries.
Lorraine, you have anything to share?
Yes. So first of all, so I mentioned my my bronze pouring stuff. This is one of them. So the mask kind of face thing that I made.
Very good.
And, car going fast. And so that is just of a nice fella in my class at art school who agreed to have pictures taken right there in the studio, because I was like, you've got a good face. Let's take loads of pictures. Yeah, that hangs in my hallway. And doing the hair was a real beast. I think I would do it differently these days. I put a whole bunch of little uniform kind of scratches on it. Yeah, trying to represent his curly hair was very tough. What to do? Yeah, so I'm still quite pleased with that. Wouldn't want to be under it in an earthquake. It's pretty heavy. And then I'll just see if I can figure out the screen share. Oh, okay, you've disabled screen share. Okay, I'll just talk about it then. So Salvador Dali, I would say, is a big influence. And of course, like most people would be able to recognize his masterpiece paintings. But the image that I've got is of one of his sketches, because I went to a museum in Paris, just a little one in Montmartre, that had sketches all around. It also had some awesome sculptures, but there were walls of his sketches, and it showed how he took his ideas, his various kind of characters and creatures that he created, and then recombined them in different ways over and over again till he found what he liked. And you can see sort of the seeds of the big masterpiece pictures in those little sketches. So I think that they're important to highlight, because yeah, I like the seeing his process and use that in my own stuff.
Thank you very much. Right, Zeke.
Hello, sorry, just unmuting myself. Wait, let me turn my camera. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't actually own much art really at all. So I brought a piece that I did just in the past couple of weeks to show everyone. It was from when I took a photo when I was down in Wellington of the police at the block looking into the village. And so I decided to paint it when I got back. It's backwards in the but it says freedom on the sign.
Very good.
I wanted to try and get like the sort of distorted, surreal feel of everything that was happening there. So that's sort of like with the faster brush strokes and stuff, but I wanted to make it realistic as well. But so I was just playing around with that. I think one of my favorite artists is the French Marguerite. He does the guy with the apple in front of his face. Do you guys know that one? Rene Magritte.
Grit, yes.
Grit, yeah. I love his artwork. Like the surrealism, but also it's quite like bold colors, most of his work. But yeah, I don't really have too much more else to show.
Thanks, Zeke.
All good.
Andrea. I don't think I've done Andrea.
Okay. So I was talking the other day about some glass mosaic that I've been experimenting with a little bit. So I've got a little one that was my first trial run with this new framing. I'm guessing you'll know who that is. And so that's in a Perspex frame, and it will be worked back to front as well. It's just worked in glass on the front at the moment. It's actually copyrighted. I can't sell this, but this is going to be a gift for my daughter Lizzie. So I think you might like to see that. The other picture I want to show you was created today by my son Miles, my youngest son. Now Miles has autism, and he struggles with tics, a lot of verbal tics, which makes it really hard for him to communicate. And he's very clever, and he's very creative, and so he draws constantly. And this is this amazing little thing that he drew today, and I said I'd share it with you all.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you can figure out what country that might be.
China.
Yeah, he said to me, it's the Great Wall of China, Mum, and it's got there's little houses on the Great Wall of China, and I didn't know that, but he told me about that, and I think that's very cool.
Very cool.
And little mountains, and there's a little yin yang. He's crazy. He loves doing fantasy monsters, pretty scary stuff, some of them, but he's always drawing. It's a lovely way for him to express himself. And I think that's just brilliant. So
how old is he?
He was 11 on the day the competition started. So.
Well, that's right. You had a big party.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think he inspires me because, in spite of his struggles, you know, he persists, and he's always telling me, "Mum, you're an amazing artist. Keep going." Great, and he's always encouraging, and he's just such a darling boy. And I just think art is just so important therapy-wise too for us. So yeah, he's a constant reminder of how you know, we just got to keep going and keep creating, how important that is. There is an artist that I wanted to just reference, which I just thought of, and I didn't print, but it's one of my favorite portrait artists, Gwen Hughes. And Gwen did that one for the Adam Portrait Awards. I think he was the People's Choice Award last time. And he's just, you've probably seen it on social media, but he's just finished the most exquisite piece of work for the upcoming, Cindy, for the upcoming Adam Awards. And what I love about his work is just that amazing translucence and the way he gets the environment into the portrait and how he blends those layers in. I just think his work is just stunning. So yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too.
Isn't he brilliant? He's so brilliant. Yeah, he's really up there. So we've all got to have someone to aspire to.
Yeah.
And he's just amazing. So yeah.
Well, thank you all.
Yeah.
I thought